enough, I want to make sure that I'm live and everything is as it should be. So just give me a second, you guys, and I'll be right back after this commercial break. Okay, yeah, so everything's looks like it's cool. So yeah, what is said about finances is real. How your own kind treats you. I have a bit to I have a lot to say. I'm not going to say it all today. I don't think I'm going to be on an hour or anything like that. I just wanted to come through and just do a quick one, if that's even possible. But we'll see. So I tried this yesterday. However, it did not work out because for whatever reason, although I have everything is working. For whatever reason, stuff just decides to act up, technical difficulties. That's technology for you. But for whoever comes in, how is your morning going? How was your morning? I want to start off by saying, just like I did yesterday, I was telling you guys yesterday that to Ramadan, I had, just recently got out of the hospital. I was feeling some type of way. If you go back to the description from yesterday, I was describing, basically what happened before I ended up in the emergency room. So, I was, like I said, I was feeling some type of way. I was like dizzy. And next minute I know, I guess, in between me hitting the ground, I was looking at the sky from the ground. Then I passed out again, and there was two male EMTs. One had my feet and one had my shoulders and my arms. And I was on the gurney, then I passed out again, and I was in the ICU, not the ICU, I don't know why I want to say ICU, but I was in the emergency room looking at the ceiling of the emergency room. So that's what happened at that particular time. So that was recent. I would probably say that was what is today? Today is the 4th. Okay, so I probably would say that would have been about maybe the 29th, maybe the 30th, maybe, I think the 30th. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I would say right about now I am so, you know what I mean? At least I'm not in a emergency room, so that is good. But as I said, you guys who listen to me, who come on to my channel, who will see this replay, I appreciate you guys. I won't be talking about everything all at once, but it's going to be, I guess you would call it a series. I'm going to take a break from the, it's not really a break. It's actually, I don't want to call it a break. The reason why is because when I talk about the particular topics that I talk about, which are usually pertaining to social issues, finances, historical incidents that tie into the very framework of the financial situation that Black people are sitting in, I have to admit that includes myself. I have been affected by this. The data that is reported is real. I have to say that. Me personally, I've told you guys before, I've been dibbling and dabbling in this for a few years. I told you guys, and I'm just laying down the gauntlet and framing it for you and putting context around what I'm talking about. I told you a few years ago that I wrote a pamphlet and I was basically trying to, tell Black people what's actually happened and possibly what will happen. I'm not an economist. I didn't go to school. I'm not going to sit up there and act like I went to school for that. My schooling that I went to school for was something that was not in economics. But When you talk about social sciences, economics may be, might as well be involved. When you talk about social sciences, you're talking about, you could be talking about city planning. You could be talking about welfare. You could be talking about criminal justice. You could be talking about economics, because that goes into, marriage and the family, and how economics affects your family, both relational wise and historically, meaning like through your generations and who you got your monies from. It also social sciences also encompasses things under the umbrella of economics, which is in vivo transfers, meaning you get the money that helps you to survive while you're alive. You understand what I'm saying? While your parents or your uncle or your long lost uncle is alive, things of that nature. So this affects me wholeheartedly. And so when I talk about these issues, I might as well be talking about myself, because I am affected by these issues. You understand what I'm saying? I often tell folk who happen upon what has, happened to me, and I tell them, which things are going on. Because as I said to you earlier, not a sidebar, but just, in addition to, I told you guys I started I made the channel that I'm on now, speaking from this channel now, because of my health issues and my financial issues. I wanted to give a clear cut understanding, a truthful assessment about what really is going on with African American people, with Native Black American people, or for a lot or some ADOS. And for me, I am that line that you cross when you don't have the financial means, when you add in other adjutants, like you may not have a strong family backing, be it because maybe the age of your parents, or the fact of just a lot of African American folk, a lot of ADOS folk, a lot of Native Black folk, we just don't come from stable backgrounds. It just is what it is. You have some of us that do. Don't get me wrong, you have some of us that do. But for the most part, because of finances and because of the history that we have in this country, we do not have a stable backing. And I think it unfair to look at a person and tilt your nose up at them because they don't have the financial wherewithal, or because they might not have the family or whatever it is to help back them up. And these individuals, and let me just, kind of loosely speak on this as well. These individuals who get out here talking about they did it by themselves, no, they didn't. Let's deal with, before we, we're going to get into the topic, because what I am talking about is the topic, but let's just get rid of this right quick. I like to get rid of lies. First of all, there's no such thing as hard work. That's first of all. Believing in hard, see, that trope was sold for the black slave. So that's first of all. Second of all, no one ever does anything by themselves. No one got anywhere by themselves. There is no such thing as pull yourself. Thirdly, there's no such thing as pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's no such thing. What that is an excuse to have you struggle when everyone in America who has no color, meaning the whites, did not have to struggle on their own. They did nothing by themselves. You know how they did it? Transformative government and transformative policies issued by government. So that's first of all. Now, why I lay down this framework, because this affects me. Understand that a lot of these things that you have older people who may be baby boomers or older Generation Xers benefited from, by the time I came along, they didn't exist for me. I couldn't tell you what it's like to be a part of a fully functioning union shop. I wouldn't know what that is. And understand, hey, Truth is near peace. How you doing? Understand that why I can bring up union is because I used to work for JFK. I used to move. Understand, I used to move and clean planes, right? Not only did I fly on them, but I used to move and clean planes. And if you go to JFK, they have a union there. and their union is not benefiting those who work for them, depending on how long you've been working for them. You understand what I'm saying? Due to the laws, they don't have to benefit you. So understand that those who are older, Generation Xers and baby boomers, you all benefited from unions. You all benefited from affirmative action. I have not. Understand that. You understand what I'm saying? So the framework and again, I want to frame this. I want you all to be very clear as to what I'm talking about, because next I'll cut to what I've been going through. And I've been going through this shit for the last, I would probably say, I want to give a round number, but it'll probably end up being odd. I've been going through this. We're talking about steadily. We're talking about one thing after the next. Understand that when you do not have a stable financial background, which means poverty, you are going to go through one change after the next. Why won't we stop with the bullshit? Instagram is not real. You understand what I'm saying? YouTube is not real. These individuals get on YouTube and they make themselves these individuals that they're not. Understand that also poverty is a personality revealer. You understand what I'm saying? It is a personality revealer. Just because I'll put it to you like this. Just because you have money does not make you a good person. Just because you don't have money does not make you a bad person. Just because you have money, you could actually be a good person. Just because you don't have money means you can actually be a person who doesn't have money and you're a piece of shit. I've met those people who are like that. They don't have any money, but they're a piece of shit. Then you have people who have money and they're a piece of shit. Then you meet people who do not have any money and their integrity is intact. They don't have a full sense of themselves. They don't have a full sense of reality. They don't have a full sense of trying to play nice politics, respectability of politics. They're going to tell you the truth because they have integrity and they don't have time to fuck around. And then you have those with money who want to play respectability politics because they want you to grovel and beg for whatever help that you need. You understand what I'm saying? Because the truth of the matter is, when you're in poverty, what is going to take you out is not charity. Charity is not going to fix the issue. It is going to fix your immediate need for right now. But yet black people tend to think charity is always going to get you somewhere. You need policy. Nobody wants to. Again, don't understand that I am not a rock the vote or die. I'm not Sean Combs. That man is an idiot. I am not him. What I'm telling you is that the same way government got us into this shit, and they weaved a work of iniquity, and they weaved a work to which where we are still suffering, and they weaved a work to whereby finances have projected themselves the way they have now, to where everything is calcified, and to whereby Trump has written in transformative policies for the rich that will take place in 2020. So if you think you suffering now, and you had these certain folk who want to think that not all black people are poor, or just because you're black, you're not poor, you're a fool. Or you figure that you're not struggling, but every single month you're coming up short. You figure because you're living in a house or you're driving a car and you haven't made it down to the street or to the shelters, or you haven't made it to whereby you don't know where you're going to get your next meal. You know, these personality showers are going to show themselves. Poverty, like I said earlier, poverty is a personality shower. If a person is unstable, poverty is going to show it, meaning that mentally. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the regular stuff because of racism, because of, just the regular stuff that caused black people to be how they are. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about whether you're a vindictive individual, whether you are just nasty, whether you have no compassion for your own kind. Because understand me, you all, in the times that are happening right now, as well as the times that are coming up, we are going to have understanding with one another. We are in a situation that, for the most part, I would like to say maybe about between 90 with a differential of 93 to 95%. We didn't create this atmosphere. We didn't create it. Now, the other few percentage to make it 100, we did condone it. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm not going to play the blame game. What I mean by that is the sitting around with the prayer and the no action. You see these individuals doing things to you. These things should have you in the street rallying. These things should have you in the street saying, look, if you don't change these things, we're going to tear shit up. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that we are scrambling for no money? Do you understand that $192 for food stamps every month is not going to get it? When alone in New York, a box of cereal will cost you $10. And that's before you buy milk. For those who are dairy drinkers. For those who have kids and you feed your children these cereals out here. For those of you who get WIC. And understand that getting social services is not a gender specific. You have black men out here who receive food stamps. You have black men in some cases who have their children and they get WIC. Okay? I've known black men that during the 90s they were taking care of their children and they were getting social services. So again, let's get rid of that lie as well. Receiving social service is not gender specific. It is not. I knew these black men. Now they're old enough to be my father, but I knew of them. I knew of men who were, because of circumstances, they were getting food stamps. They were getting WIC for their kids. I remember there was one individual. He was my mother's friend. He had known her since I believe the 80s. So I was a very little girl when she had met him. And he had met. Now, at first, he didn't have any kids. I don't think he started having kids until he was in his 40s. So he should be about, I'd probably say anywhere between 59 and 61 now. So he's a baby boomer. So at the time, I don't think he had his first kid until he was like, damn. I think he must have been anywhere between 40 and 43. But anyway you slice it, he ended up with the children, right? So not only did he have kids when he was in his early 40s, but then it was like, it was kind of like it hit him like a monsoon. He had by the time I would probably say maybe 2 to 3 years was over, he went from having no kids to having at least 5 plus the children, that his wife already had. So total, that was about 10 kids. And he ended up having, I'd probably say maybe about 8 of them, maybe. So he was receiving WIC for his little son. His little son at the time was, I think, anywhere between, I would say 2 months. So basically kind of like a newborn and maybe 6 months. So he was getting like the Similac, all that's baby cereal and stuff like that. Whatever WIC encompasses. Juices and things of that nature. Then he was getting the food stamps for the other kids so he could buy, porridge and cold cereals and whatever sandwich meat he could buy for his kids, because that's how he shopped. Kids eat a lot, they're growing. You're going to buy what you can to fill their belly. So if you think that these programs are gender specific,